Well, good morning, Club 17, and welcome to another Rotarian Spotlight segment. As I've mentioned before, obviously, since we're not able to meet in the Hall of Mirrors, I wanted to take some time to interview a variety of members to get to know each and every one of us better. So today I've asked Foundation President John Fahrmeier to join us.
Good morning, Dave.
John, how are you?
Good. Good morning to everyone else.
Looks like you're on the banks of the Ohio this morning.
I am. It was a flooded day a few years ago, and this is a view from the Covington side of the river across the sidewalk, which you can see is full of water there onto our skyline.
And when I was talking to John before this, I learned that this is not just any picture; it's a picture that he actually took himself. So,
yes,
quite the photographer.
Yeah.
But this morning, this segment's going to be a little bit different. Not only are we going to talk to John about himself, his background, what he's up to, and so forth, but this morning, John's going to make a very, very important announcement from our foundation. So we're looking forward to that, John.
Yeah, sure.
So, I've known John, I don't know, John, maybe the last 7 or 8 years, probably. I don't even know how long, but certainly you've been a leader in our club for a long period of time. And in the last year, you and I have spent a little bit more time together as we've tried to make sure our foundation and club are in alignment. And it's been good to get to even know you in a deeper level on that basis. So
absolutely,
there's a lot of good work that's happening within the foundation, and I think you're certainly a huge part of that.
Well, thank you.
But on the fun side, tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe about your family, your career, maybe some of your hobbies and interests.
Sure. I'll start by a little bit of background because I think that's somewhat interesting to people. I was raised in Cincinnati and raised and currently live in Anderson Township. When I was 16, I graduated from high school, Covington Latin School across the river. Wow. And I was looking for something to do before going to college. And I heard of, through my dad, the opportunity to become an exchange student, a Rotary Club exchange student. So I applied to the program, and it was Cincinnati Rotary Club in 1982 and 83 that sponsored me to go over to Japan. So I spent a year as an exchange student representing Cincinnati, Ohio, and Rotary Club. Well, that was my real first experience with Rotary Club, and it really set a course in my life that has come to where it is today. So when I was done with my experience in Japan, I moved to Chicago, went to college there, and my first career out of college continued in the Chicago area. Was in banking. Then after grad school, moved into the investments area. Met my wife up in Chicago, and when it was about time for us to have kids, we decided to make the move back to a smaller city. So obviously I'm from here. My wife Judy is not from here, but we moved to Cincinnati, back to Anderson Township, within basically a mile or two of where I grew up. And soon thereafter, my 2 daughters arrived. This was in the year 2000 that we moved back here, and so. It's been a great 20 or so years, I guess, back in the city, going on 20 years. And obviously I've raised my family over that period of time. You asked about hobbies. So I'm an amateur golfer, not very good, but I've enjoyed more of that over the last few years. I've played volleyball, sand volleyball outside for better part of 30 years, started on the beaches of Chicago. Again, I'm not a great volleyball player, but my height gives me a little advantage over most. And
for those that don't know, John is what? You're 6'7", John?
Yes, I'm 6'7", right.
Okay.
So I have been obviously a photographer for the club for a while, and really that was a passion of mine that started with my kids. Now I have to say that my 17 and 18-year-old favorite models aren't as interested as they used to be in getting their photo taken. So my hobby there is a lot less than it used to be. but I still enjoy taking a good photograph. So I, as you said, I've been active in Rotary. As it was important for me to give back, and I did have people that knew me from back in the '80s that were Rotarians that knew that I was moving back to Cincinnati and wanted to get me involved, and I really wanted to give back. So Jack Schaefer, a longtime member of the club, the president of the club when I was away, as well as district governor. He was my sponsor, and he got me back involved, and the story's gone from there. So I've been active in the leadership, spent some time on the board about 10 years ago. I've been very active in the foundation, as well as I've taken on leadership roles elsewhere, such as in my church. So that's a little bit about me.
Well, thanks.
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about this health crisis that we're faced with, and how that's changed your life on a business from a business perspective and in a personal perspective.
Sure, sure. Well, I think the biggest change for me is that my family is all under one roof right now, as it is for a lot of families. Our college student is back, and so that's been the biggest change in my life. Of course, we're here 24/7 at this point. I'm working from home, but really talking with my clients just as if I were at work. It's obviously a troubled time for people with investment portfolios, but I'm here to provide them reassurance, talk about their longer term needs as well as short term concerns. So I'm really there to hopefully provide a steady hand for them. So really, with the exception of my family being here and me being in my office chair at home, not a whole lot has changed.
Well, that's good. It's been a crazy time for everyone, and it's good to know that you're
Sure.
coping with everything very well. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you did mention that that you joined the club. It'll be 20 years in January. So it sounds like not only did you join the club, but you started your family almost at the same time. So I'm sure that was pretty busy back then. But tell me a little bit about your experience with Rotary beyond maybe what you've said, and maybe some of your fondest memories.
Sure. Sure. Well, I mean, I certainly have fond memories early on of going to Camp Allen, the picnic, bringing my daughters first in a little pumpkin seat, and then when they were a little bit older and toddlers, and so that I've got photos of that. So their ties to Rotary go back a long way, and they've worked on various service projects with me over the years too. I think the most rewarding and experiences for me in Rotary have been the fact that I've been in a position where I've asked Rotarians to do something, whether it's to be involved in a project, contribute financially, et cetera, and Rotarians respond to that. That to me, that's very, very rewarding, and I certainly encourage our newer members, younger members, or even seasoned members that we can make a difference, and things don't always happen real quickly, but we're here to address the problems and provide solutions to issues here in our city and abroad, and we can make a difference. And for me, that's the biggest thing about Rotary, is that we can take action and do meaningful things in the world.
Absolutely. And I guess speaking of making a difference, I know the foundation's been hard at work to make some important decisions on how to respond to this COVID-19 crisis. So I know this morning you wanted to make an announcement about what the foundation is up to and how we're going to respond.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, we do have a major project announcement here, Dave, and everyone. So your foundation trustees have committed almost $100,000 to a new project to address the COVID-19 situation. This project goes into action 2 days from now on Monday. And we've been planning this, doing a lot of legwork on this project for more than 3 weeks. So Certainly, I'll thank some people as I go on here. But we saw essentially two needs, and I'm going to give credit to our executive director Linda for identifying these needs and doing a whole lot of this legwork. Firstly, we know that hospital workers and first responders are increasingly busy on the front lines. And of course, we hope the situation doesn't get too bad either here or elsewhere, but they are on the front lines, and we have had a history in our club of supporting people on the front lines with our fire, police, sheriff recognition, teacher recognition. So this is very much in line with supporting frontline workers, like in this case, hospital workers and frontline first responders. Secondly, we all know that there are businesses out there, in this case specifically restaurants, that have suffered due to the crisis. Some have shut altogether, hopefully just temporarily. Some are really struggling to survive. So I think Linda, again, was the brainchild of this, saying, can't Rotary serve both of these needs? So back up a little bit here. One thing that the governor did, and with a lot of businesses, is that he shut down regular daycare centers and required that daycare centers become pandemically certified. So the YMCA of Greater Cincinnati became one of those certified daycare providers. So the Rotary Club, Rotary Foundation of Cincinnati, is partnering with the 8 YMCAs in Hamilton County to provide service to hospital workers and first responders. And what we're going to be doing is Rotarians, so about 10 of our Rotarians are interfacing between the YMCAs and the and local restaurants to deliver meals, okay, to the Ys, so that hospital workers and first responders can bring home meals to their families. They're going to work increasingly long hours, busy days, maybe not in the mood or able to, you know, put a good meal on the table for their family. And our idea is when they pick up their kids from these wide daycare centers, that food will be waiting for them. They can bring that home and serve their family a good meal. So at least at the start, we've designed a program that we think will feed 150 families. So maybe that's 350, 400 people. And we're going to do this 5 days a week, and for 4 weeks, at least at the start. And we'll certainly look at things if we need to make adjustments. So that's the core of the project. Again, a lot of work has gone into this. I definitely thank Linda for putting this together, trustees and others that have stepped up to the plate to be interfaces. All this is being basically done by phone, right? And again, we're the coordinators. We're not really allowed to touch food and deliver food. So the need is to help the restaurants, help the first responders, and we can provide that coordination effort, and we can provide the funding to do this. So again, we've got about $100,000 that we're setting aside. We're going beyond our budget. You know, we're recognizing that there's a need out there right now, and we need to address it now, make an impact now.
That's an amazing project, and when I heard about it initially, what I think about is that it checks a lot of boxes. Obviously, those folks that are working their tails off each and every day in the hospitals, and they don't get any respite. They're dealing with the issues in the hospital on a daily basis. They're worried about infecting their family when they come home. So I think the things that we're doing are amazing to create a little bit of peace of mind in their.
That's right.
Yes.
Right.
I think the other part of the equation is just the extra step that we're trying to do to help out the restaurant industry. And I know in talking to you and talking to Linda that the restaurants are extremely appreciative of everything that we're doing in that area too. So really a cool project. John, you should be really proud.
Oh, well, I am, but I'm proud of the fellow Rotarians, frankly, because we've got again mostly trustees, but others that are doing the coordination efforts. You know, trying to reach out to different restaurants, kind of spread things around, give help, you know, provide some healthy meals. And you know, to your point about the hospital workers, a lot of their regular daycare was basically taken away from them. So you know, they've got stress on the job, and they're taking their kids to places they've never taken their kids to. So you know, we're trying to, you know, remedy that situation a little bit, give them you know, comfort, right? That's yeah, and we know from what we see in other hospital situations around the world, it's pretty rough. So I think Rotary can stand in there and make a big difference.
Absolutely. And I think our timing is really good as well. I mean, I don't think that Cincinnati necessarily is a hot spot compared to other places like New York, but if we become that, certainly we're already in the game, so to speak, to take care of these folks that really need our help. So that's amazing, John. I'm makes me even more proud to be a Rotarian as well.
No, great. And
Rotarians, I think that that you know very well after just a few minutes with John today, that he certainly is a leader and has been a leader in our club. And I want to thank you, John, for everything you're doing to shepherd and steer the foundation in the right directions. And it's been fun working with you.
and you as well. And I look forward to closing out the Rotary year strong here.
Sounds good. And we still have Believe to Achieve on the schedule as of now. So
You do as of now.
your way, I'm sure. So we'll look forward to seeing everybody once again on the next segment of Rotarian Spotlight. But today was a special announcement by John, and certainly I'm sure everybody will be very, very proud to have heard this announcement today. So, John, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much, Dave.
All right, Rotarians, until next time, we'll interview a few more folks, but we look forward to hopefully seeing you back in the Hall of Mirrors here shortly. Everyone.